welcome to another episode of Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television from the economic hub of Nigeria, Lagos. I am Henry Igwebike. Let's start today's program from our newspapers, where we have the opportunity of seeing through all that we have, and possibly from there we move to our main conversation in a jiffy. Please do well to be part of what we do. Have a say in what we say. You can always find or reach us when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. We have right here in our studios, very honored to have him, Barrister Ufeli, Barrister Law Public Affairs Analyst, to see through all that we have. Good morning to you, Barrister.
Good morning. Thank you
so very much for the time.
Yeah.
So let's start off today, interestingly, with the first daily on our desk. The Punch newspaper, it is a big story. Federal government eyes 796 billion naira annually from 5% petrol surcharge. And the writer to that story, consumer decry new fuel tax after a subsidy removal as law commences January 2026. Patients groan as nurses strike ground hospital nationwide. That's another interesting story there. We equally have another one that says kings must respect ancestral burial rights or quit throne. And that's, I would love to believe, is as a result of the feud between traditional worshippers and the Muslim faithful as a result of the death of the king. But Barrister, let's take a look at this interesting story, which is the big story. Federal government eyes 796 billion annually from 5% petrol surcharge. What are they talking about here? Help us.
Yeah, there's this levy that the federal government is putting on, which is called the petrol surcharge.
Okay,
that will commence next year. Which people are talking about, that who's going to bear that charge? Is it the consumer, the merchants, or the petroleum marketers? And the conversation is ongoing. It's not very clear, because I read that story 2 days ago thereabouts. It's not very clear exactly what the policy is about. The communication on the policy is quite low. By now we should see more. The federal government should explain more exactly who is bearing the cost of this surcharge. Is it going to be added to the cost, the general cost of petrol from the pump? That's the pump price, or since we don't have a unifying pump price, is it that filling station, whatever they agree to sell, they have to add
on it,
add that one on it, or whatever it is? Now that we have a conversation, Dangote is reducing price as at when necessary to ensure that people get respite, instead of the federal government to encourage the move to ensure that price come down more, because so many things have gone up as a result of the hike in the as a result of the subsidy issue. So it's supposed to be a time when the federal government is supposed to invest in whatever it is that will cause market forces to bring the price down. Because now when you have that surcharge on it, by the time the company arrive at sales price for when they are factoring overrun and profit, everything in it, they will have to factor into it also the surcharge, which they will transmit to government,
last consumer.
So something about this is cost inflation. It's usually passed on. From the standpoint of economics, the social behavior of man is under capitalism, where you have cost inflation, it is passed on to consumer, because consumer, they are actually they are the end. They are the end of the point of production, distribution, purchase, and usage. So usually, because they are end users, you just pass it on to them, and because they constitute the large number of the market force, so passing it on to them is very easy to do. well, then the pain it will rot on them, and the economic shake-up that will create, given that many of them have not had their salaries increased.
Yes.
Many of them have not had. So when you have all this put together, it's a factor that I had thought that the federal government should avoid.
But obviously, they are not avoiding it.
They are not avoiding
it. Yesterday, and in one of our dailies, it states that IMF said that the economy of Nigeria would increase by 3.4%. At the same time, the IMF is being finicky when it concerns the advice and suggestion it gives to Nigerians how they can hold on to the economy this hard. So don't you think the advice for the surcharge, don't you think it's equally coming from the IMF?
I don't really know who it came from. I know it's a federal government policy.
It's been there for a very long time.
Yeah,
or what?
No, it's been introduced. It's been introduced. But you know, the IMF have never been consistent in their postulations. They've never been consistent. Look at what they're saying, and the economy will rise to whatever. You know, the United States released a tweet not too long ago.
Yes.
Was it 2 days ago,
yes,
right?
2 days ago, yes.
Talking about the fact that the Nigerian elites are squandering and splashing funds with opulence. And in turn, they tell the citizens, okay, to tighten and stretching and all
Which
that.
is what we preach every day here.
Yeah, well, that's what
the level of profile gets see by those in government.
Well, that's only what is going on, because the lifestyle of the elite have not changed. Meanwhile, the lifestyle of the led have drastically changed. In terms of disposable income, they're not able to. But for the elite, they seem to be doing more in terms of, they seem to be more brazen now than they were when things were even better. They are more brazen in terms of profligacy and spending and income and all the rest of that.
And they don't even care. That's even the worst of it.
No, they don't.
It doesn't bother them. It's not their business.
It doesn't bother them. Nobody is thinking for the masses. Someone told me that someone said that all over the world, that is it. That is how it is for the masses. And I disagree.
Really?
No, I disagree, because I know of countries where they plan, they debate, they, go to the UK, you see how, when it borders on the masses, you see how careful they are and all that. Do you know that today, Nigeria still have the lowest market, the lowest wage market in the world after Pakistan? Now, what I mean is, the country where people earn the least money in the world is Pakistan.
The minimum wage.
Yes, Pakistan is where they earn the least money in the world in terms of wages,
yes,
followed by Nigeria. Okay, so you can see that the wage market here is nothing to write home about. So now, what is government's take on that? What is the National Assembly's intervention on the wage market in the country? Because it's supposed to be a very critical issue. It's supposed to be a very important issue. Because from there you can tie in all the variables. From there you can tie in housing, low-cost housing, you can tie in tax, you can tie in... If you have... I mean, if you compare Pakistan's GDP and Nigeria's GDP,
yes, you
will see the injustice that this country is melting on the masses. Because we are nowhere in terms of resources, we are nowhere at par with Pakistan. In fact, they shouldn't be mentioning Nigeria and Pakistan. But every time they mention us with Pakistan, one other place where they mention with Pakistan is in terms of polo. But now we're out of it. Before they mention us with Pakistan, India, on polo.
yes,
Now they are mentioning us the wage market, Pakistan. Just take a look at Pakistan's GDP. Take a look at our GDP. Take a look at what Nigeria was from the 70s to the 80s, the 80s to the 90s, and look at was Pakistan even a country then, because it broke out from
India.
So those are the things. When you look at it, you begin to wonder how that the resources of this country does not trickle down. It's not trickling down. Nobody cares about it. You think you have a governor, you have a representative at the state house, at the federal house, and all that. You think they are representing you, they are not representing you. They are representing their families, their cronies, the governors don't really care. The Kano state governor gave clay pots to their citizens recently. They that's the one before this one gave wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrows. Then the governor of Benue State, Einstein earlier, gave wheelbarrow and wrote on it, "Earlier cares." You understand? Meanwhile, a lawmaker, Natasha, gave iPads to schools, did an empowerment recently where you empower people with drone for delivery. They're going to be using drone to deliver product now in Kogi State. She gave different items to about 6 universities. 7 universities, 6 in her state, 2 outside. That's Ahmadu Bello and the University of Ilorin. And you could see then about 150 participants got brand new laptop with very high capacity. The pictures are all over.
Yes.
You can see it. One lawmaker
representing just a constituency.
Just a constituency. She's not even a lawmaker from a viable state in terms of resources. Yes. Kogi is one of the poorest. Yes. Kogi, Ekiti, and Oshun.
Yes.
You understand? But look at what she's able to do. Just one person. That is one senator. They have 3.
Yes.
Kogi Central. Look at what she's able to do. Just imagine if she has the same kind of mindset with the other 2, and the 3 of them are able to come together to collaborate and to do something for their people.
Including the governor.
Yeah, including the governor, the speaker of the state house, the representative at the state house. They too, they have a community project, a community this thing that they should be able to do. Just imagine. So, are you saying that Natasha have more resources in her disposal compared to a governor? That's not true. She may not even have as much resources as the speaker of the state house. She may not even have as much resources as that speaker. She may not. But look at what she has done. So it's unfortunate, that the kind of leaders we have they're our biggest problem. I know there's problem with followership, but when it comes to empowering people, government should prioritize it.
Well, that's a very big tumor that needs urgent surgical exercise to get rid of it. A very big problem it is. Let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper to see another interesting story. Big one here. Operating Port Harcourt refinery ahead of full turnaround, ill-informed. That's coming from NNPC. Lastly, President Ufeli, it is beginning to unearth itself. All the things we thought weren't there are beginning to come out now. I remember when they started this Port Harcourt refinery after the revamping, they said everything was A-OK. Invited media people to come look at how Port Harcourt refinery was working yet again. We saw tankers, trucks, picking products and moving out of the facility. And right now they're saying that it's ill-informed, they're running it when it is not yet good enough.
You see, Port Harcourt refinery is a conduit for corruption. These refineries are not viable, they cannot work. Experts have said that over and over again. But those who are profiting from it still won't let it be. Do you know there are still workers, the staff in those refineries across the country?
Still being paid?
Yes. Those ones don't want it sold, they don't want it properly revamped, they just want it to be the way it is like that. So that every year we can talk about turnaround maintenance and the rest of that. Experts have said that these refineries are no longer in shape. They cannot work, they cannot give us what we wanted.
But why can't President Bola Tinubu, he's the substantive minister of Petroleum. So why is it still difficult for him to make the last call?
If he's if he knows exactly what he wants to do, if he wants to write his name in gold, he should know what to do. You understand? It's either you go build a brand new refinery, or you sell that one out to a private firm that will be able to refurbish it effectively. So that if it fails after refurbishing, it fails at the expense of the investor and not at the expense of the country.
Now, do you believe that government has no business in business? With Nigeria as reference?
With Nigeria as reference, yes, because of corruption. Look at everything that government have managed in this country. None of them is working. From NIPOS to NNPC to Nigerian Airways to, how many, count them, many of them. Because when government is running a business, nobody is running the business. Nobody is government. Government is an abstraction. I know government will have a director, DG that, permanent secretary, that worker, this worker, that manager, this one and another. Government will have all those people put in place, and they'll subject them to be answerable to some certain persons. But it can never be as a private business where somebody is doing the funding and everyone is nonchalant.
But this wasn't the case in the Fourth Republic.
It wasn't the case.
So what happened?
Government managed Nigerian Railway effectively. Government managed the airways.
NIPOS.
Yes. Government managed
They were
all
very,
of them.
very functional.
They were efficient, yes. They were efficient. Government managed, even when the GSM came, government still retained the local communication.
Yes.
You know, then Rose, Nitel still had.
Nitel, yes.
Nitel was to go into mobile
Yes.
operation. But we couldn't, you know. So because of the nature of corruption, you understand, just look at how policemen behave when they are sent out to go and do stop and search. They turn it to private businesses. So they're now addressing their own issue. The police will be much more effective if it's run by a private business. Yes. Because anytime government set up an institution for people to go and execute effectively, what they do, when they go, they turn it to their private businesses. Look at SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria.
Yes.
Look at substandard goods everywhere. And that institution that exists. What they do when they go for inspection, instead of them to do the work, they collect money, they turn to their private business. So that's why I said there's no need for government to be in business. Let business be private.
So how about democracy then?
Democracy is a big brother.
No, privatized.
You can't privatize democracy. Democracy is a big brother. Democracy is because even the way we run the democracy, we only call it democracy. You call it democracy the way we run it, the way governors operate. I don't think we want democracy. Like I've said before, what we have at best is regional monarchy. That your governor is your emperor. It's the one that will come out and say that nobody should enter his state without permission from him. Suspending the provisions of the constitution to assuage personal vendetta and the rest of that. So the whole thing is clumsy. It's so clumsy that it's difficult for you to say really that government in Nigeria can run an effective business. I'm yet to find out one business that government is running effectively in Nigeria. The LNG is not fully government.
No, it's not.
It's both sides. You understand? The reason why we're having an effective supply of power now is because the discos and the
are in charge.
Were sold out.
Yes.
And the major glitch we're having now is because of the same federal government 40% TCN, which is a big problem, like a clog, the wheel of progress.
Because just yesterday, Adeleke, Davido's father, commissioned his $2 billion generating facility.
Yes, that one is a project I've been on for a long
Yes,
time
for a
ago.
very long time.
Yes.
Finally is on, and this is a project that is minuscule to Nigeria if it wanted to go into it.
Very well, very well. I mean, you know now, you know how it was, how power was before.
Yes.
When it was estimated billing, where they can get money from you without even supplying you light. They do not care about that's government managing, you know. But now that they know that if they don't give you power, you will not buy the scratch, the cards to load your this. And if you load, they don't give you power, it will not finish. So they need to give you power to enable you exhaust it and buy another one. So for them to be in business. So that's why you're saying power. Not like anybody is interested in you having light. It's just that the private sector interest in it has to make profit. So they have to go at any length to ensure that you have power, you exhaust it, you buy another one. The more they give you light, the more likely you will exhaust what they have given you and buy another one. That's why having light. When it was not like this, you see light once in a week. And once they interrupt it, once they supply it, it's good and fine. But once they interrupt, you may not see it for the next 4 or 5 days. So that's how it was before. So this is even a better deal now that, even though people are complaining that the tariff is high and the rest of that. So until government come around, okay, and take itself off it completely and just square up on regulation. Regulate them, just like the telecommunication is now, where you have is it an icon? What do you call them now? NCC.
Yes.
NCC regulating all of them and making sure that things are. It's even NCC determines even the price they charge per minute, per second, whatever billings. Their input is on the billings and what it is, they fix it for them.
Yes.
So they cannot just charge arbitrarily. So we will be better off. We'll be better off if we see what on the Nigerian air. See when the federal government want to revive it. The minister says, what's that his name?
Hadisarika.
You see what happened. Before him, there was also another attempt. When they changed it to Nigerian air, there's another attempt to have it, you know, but it still didn't work today. So you see how the foreign airlines are taking all the resources away. Capital flight. What we would have gained from our citizens travel a lot, we know. Not like we don't know. Nigerians travel a lot. We're not like South Africans that don't go anywhere and all that. You know your citizens travel a lot. And people come in a lot because it's a big country. Why can't you fix your airways? If you have private airlines, individuals owning private airlines, what is there for government not to undertake and do it effectively? Government can do it effectively. That's what that is it, because
the truth of the matter is I do not know the percentage of IPMAN Air, the state government and the private owned whatever it is, but it is just one textbook example of how the government, if really they are intentional, they can really run things, because IPMAN Air is state.
It's a state running it,
yes. And it's so efficient.
A sovereign is running a business that a sovereign could have run. But the only thing that the IPMAN Air is local. They don't have international operation, do they?
No, they have one to Ghana.
Okay, have one to Ghana.
Yes.
Okay, so that's on a small scale. Those are baby steps. Maybe Akwa Ibom may become the air hub of the country, because if the federal government is not interested, the state government can decide to be a national carrier. I mean, if they have capacity to be running around the country and they are doing Ghana now and all that, why not? They can push one. If federal government cannot maintain the Nigerian air, why can't they, or why shouldn't they partner with the airpiece, for example?
Yes, because that's what Rwanda is equally doing.
It's public-private.
Yes, with Qatar.
It's public-private partnership. So you are able to partner, and the name is out there. You are flying, and so it will also reduce some of the. First of all, we're able to make money off these routes. Then we're also able to do. I mean, the British Airways is managed by the British government. I mean, so many airlines, Qatar Air and all that. Government can really do business, but maybe not in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah, because of corruption. So the ineffectiveness usually will come from people who will ground it.
Well, the big question or the elephant in the room is if bigotry and nepotism would allow us see that happen. Tata in India, or Indian Air is being managed by Tata. Okay. Right, and one
Tata, which is an
engineering company,
yes.
Automobile company. Yes, so they are solely 100% managing Indian Air.
Indian Air.
Yes, and which a very good example is having Air Peace possibly manage
yes.
Nigerian Air if it ever exists.
Of course, what stops us from Nigeria from investing in this area? Buy all the aircraft if you are buying them. Lease if you are leasing. Not all airlines buy aircraft. Some lease. In fact, in the aviation business, you have more of lease than outright purchase. You lease, you renew. You lease, you renew. The market is there. Why can't the government assemble the aircraft and hand it over to Air Peace or any of the viable companies to manage? They will share profit, and the airline will employ more people. More people will gain employment. The government will get revenue.
And Nigerians are ready to pay.
And out of GDP, yes.
Once it is safe and
yes, but we are not serious about it. We think it's only oil that you can make money now. The commercial space is very viable. Nigeria is big. Nigeria is visited, one of the most visited countries in the world, because it's an enigma, and its people are one of the most traveled in the world. So why won't you be thinking transportation?
It's actually very funny, Barrister, because Ethiopia, for example, their only major source of income is Ethiopian Air.
Yeah.
Rwanda, the same thing. Yeah. Air Morocco, the same thing. And this is an opportunity we do not want to take advantage of. But just before we leave for this morning, the Guardian newspaper, suspended school feeding initiative leaves 9 million pupils, 250,000 jobs stranded. Are you okay with school Nigerians trying to feed its kids? Is it okay?
It's not a bad thing.
Or empower parents so they can empower their children, which is better?
No, feeding the children is not a bad thing. I'm looking beyond feeding. I'm looking at the employment it creates, the value chain.
Because that's what they stated. There are about 250,000 value chain jobs is lost as a result of.
Why 9 million?
9 million people are no longer taking the advantage.
Yeah, they're no longer taking the advantage. If you have 9 million pupils in school, and you have a policy to feed them, it shouldn't be difficult for a country to undertake. It's a country we're talking about, not one person. A country can handle it. A country can handle it. But for the corruption and the ineptitude that go under, a country should be able to handle it. You understand? It's not a bad thing. Now, if you say just empower parents, you'll be overlooking and undermining the employment it creates. So since government is not going to go to homes, since government will not go to homes to empower people directly, say the poor of the poorest and whatever it is, they can enlist them into the employment of feeding children, cooking and doing all that. That value chain will create that employment. That employment will also empower the farmers who are growing crops. Okay? That's we also empower those who are supplying seedlings. So it just have a ripple effect.
But how do we deal? Because one of the reasons they had to stop it was because of they experienced the same issue they had with subsidy. People weren't bringing in a product, but they were being paid for subsidy. Now, for the feeding program, people weren't feeding kids, or maybe they were feeding lesser kids, but collecting more money for children they didn't feed.
Yeah,
so how do they take care of that?
They have to design the policy and weed off corruption from the process. the government can weed off corruption from the process if they are willing to do so. They should have inspectors, people who will evaluate and inspect what the workers are doing, what those who are managing the affairs of these children, what they do. And they should be able to get direct evaluation from the children. Children don't lie.
True.
If you don't give them food, they will say do not give them. If the food was not good, they will say the food is not good. So you can get feedback from the children directly. And when you're able to get feedback from them, so it will be easier to manage. They should be strict about it. Dismiss people who are, criminal minded. Get serious people people that have passion for children. You can't just lay anybody on that job.
Do you think the office of the first lady, even if it's not recognized constitutionally as a mother, do you think that office would have done better job of managing the project?
The office managing it currently, I think, is the
humanitarian, I love to believe.
Yeah, humanitarian, yeah. That's the ministry.
Yes.
Which is supposed to be under interior.
Yes.
Well, I don't know the capacity of the office of the wife of the president. First, it's not legal. Two, this thing they call how many personnel do they have? Or are they going to outsource it? And if they outsource it, what will be the difference between what they will be doing and what is already being done? And because it's not an office that you can rely on. Because first of all, there's no statute creating it. Then it is also not it's not an office that is in existence in elongation. Once the first lady leaves, everybody she brings in goes with her.
Yeah.
You understand? Because I think they are under her employment.
Yes.
Not any ministry employment. Like the wife of the president yesterday, 2 days ago, gave
1 billion.
1 billion to
Benue.
To Benue State. Yes. And who were asking that, what work does she do? Who were asking that, where did the money come? Did she budget it? Somebody asked that the garden, she said people should be doing at the back of that. Maybe her owner started paying to the point of 1 billion. So people were just talking. Because ordinarily, she doesn't have that source of income that should have given her that. So it's government money, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's how it's being spent in this regard. So I don't think that office may have what it takes technically.
Yes, because the reason I raised that submission is I remember during General Sani Abacha, Mariam Abacha had the Women Alive Foundation then, and she touched the lives of women across the country. It was felt. It was felt so very much. And if that was possible with the office of the First Lady, even if it was military, how much more can we do if now that we are with democracy and the flexibility is there?
Yeah, what Mariam Abacha was doing then was one of, you go to a community, empower women and children, move on. Empower women and children, move on. You're just moving.
Yes.
This one, we're talking about subsisting employment and continuous feeding of children. So that one requires much more labor, capital intensive than what it will take for you to just, like she gave this 1 billion now. She's not going to give them 1 billion next month.
Yes, very true. It might not even come again.
So that one, but the 1 billion will touch lives.
Yes.
So that's how it is. But to not give her something where she will sit put and be monitoring every day and be discharging functions in continuity to ensure that children are fed every day, Monday to Friday. You need something much more than just a passing office to do. You need stability. You need to be able to do the evaluation proper. You need to be able to get feedback. You need to be able to work around the project. So it's a big thing. Except she takes it and outsources it. In which case, if she outsources it, what will be the difference between what is being outsourced and what was? That's the question you now need to ask yourself.
Sad reality, barrister. In the 70s and early 80s, those that were in school then could testify how well they were fed. those that were in the university back then were fed well. They had the reasons to go to school. Children in primary school had reasons to go to school because they know that when they get there, they'll be fed.
Yes.
And that was how most of the millennials we have today who are well read, okay, got that gusto to have gotten to where they are today.
Yeah, it's an incentive. Learning incentive is food. You know, when you tell children that they'll soon eat, they'll be happy. You understand? They'll be excited. And nothing grows faster into the mind than a mind that is excited. Yes. When you have people with energy, vigor, and enthusiasm to want to learn, they will understand faster, better, and become better citizens. Then when you are trying to make people make their lives to turn around under very very hard conditions. I know what it was then when we were in school then, when they say after the regular class we should stay back for lesson for 2 hours. By that time we would have exhausted the food we came with. We're already hungry again. Want to go home to eat.
Yes.
And that is when that lesson commences. So most of the time, that lesson is just, we're just there. Our body is there. Our mind is not there. It's not working. You understand? Then that is when some teachers will now be forcing you to understand what they are saying. You don't understand anything when you have not eaten. So it's a good incentive for the children.
All right, we just hope that things get better for our children because a country without any is a country that has lost everything. We'll be right back. Barrister will be here to take us on our main conversation. When we return, Jerry Ghana backs Obi's return to PDP for 2027 if they must achieve victory. It's still Enterprise Morning. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.